In 2020, there were reportedly 2,095 billionaires on Earth, with an estimated total net worth of $8 trillion. Of this amount, the top 10 wealthiest people in the world account for $1,153 billion, or roughly 14.41%, which is impressive when you consider that they represent around 0.48% of billionaires. Below are the 10 individuals currently considered the wealthiest at the time of updating this video, June 2021, according to the Forbes World's Billionaires list. Number 10. Mukesh Ambani. Age: 63. Residence: Mumbai, India. Chair and Managing Director, Reliance Industries. Net worth: $84.5 billion. Reliance Industries ownership stake: 42%, $73.79 billion total. Other assets: Mumbai residential property, $410 million private assets, and $1.60 billion in cash. Number 9. Sergey Brin. Age: 47. Residence: Los Altos, California. Co-founder and board member, Alphabet Incorporated, Google. Net worth: $89 billion. Alphabet ownership stake: 5%, $86.2 billion total. Other assets: $12.7 billion in cash. Number 8. Larry Page. Age: 48. Residence: Palo Alto, California. Co-founder and board member, Alphabet Incorporated, Google. Net worth: $91.5 billion. Alphabet ownership stake: 6%, $89.7 billion total. Other assets: $12.6 billion in cash. Number 7. Larry Ellison. Age: 76. Residence: Lanai, Hawaii. Co-founder, CTO, and chair, Oracle. Net worth: $93 billion. Oracle ownership stake: 35.4%, $61.8 billion. Other assets: Tesla equity, $10.1 billion public assets, and $14.9 billion in cash. Number 6. Warren Buffett. Age: 90. Residence: Omaha City in Nebraska. CEO, Berkshire Hathaway. Net worth: $96 billion. Berkshire Hathaway ownership stake: 38.001%, $98.503 billion total. Other assets: Wells Fargo and Company equity, $76.6 million public assets, U.S. Bancorp equity, $50.2 million public assets, Seritage Growth Properties equity, $38 million public assets, and $1.05 billion in cash. Number 5. Mark Zuckerberg. Age: 36. Residence: Palo Alto City in California. Co-founder, CEO, and chair, Facebook. Net worth: $97 billion. Facebook ownership stake: 13%, $115 billion. Other assets: $2.93 billion in cash and $225 million in real estate. Number 4. Bill Gates. Age: 65. Residence: Medina City in Washington State. Co-founder, Microsoft Corporation, MSFT. Net worth: $124 billion. Microsoft ownership stake: 1.3%, $25.8 billion. Other assets: Canadian National Railway equity, $11.8 billion public asset. John Deere equity, $11.8 billion public asset. Republic Services equity, $11.1 billion public asset. Ecolab equity, $6.59 billion public asset. Givaudan equity, $4.39 billion public asset. FEMSA equity, $2.22 billion public asset. Waste Management equity, $1.93 billion public asset. Berkshire Hathaway equity, $1.72 billion public asset. Adenation equity, $1.67 billion public asset. Diageo equity, $1.56 billion public asset. Arch Capital Group equity, $1.39 billion public asset. Sika Ag equity, $1.26 billion public asset. Signet Jewelers equity, $760 million public asset. Televisa equity, $300 million public asset. Vroom equity, $260 million public asset. Western Asset Claymore Inflation-Linked Opportunities and Income Fund equity, $229.4 million public total assets. Liberty Global equity, $225 million public asset. Fomento de Construcciones y Contratas equity, $187 million public asset. Otter Tail Corporation equity, $160 million public asset. Coca-Cola FEMSA equity, $121 million public asset. Owens Corning equity, $38.4 million public asset, and $57.2 billion in cash. Number 3. Bernard Arnault. Age, 72. Residence, Paris. CEO and Chair, LVMH, LVMUY. Net worth, $150 billion. Christian Dior ownership stake, 97.5%, $109 billion. Other assets, Mollison Company equity, $21.4 billion public assets. Hermes equity, $2.23 billion public assets. Carrefour equity, $1.26 billion public assets, and $4.50 billion in cash. Number 2. Elon Musk. Age, 49. Residence, Austin, City in Texas. Co-founder and CEO, Tesla, TSLA. Net worth, $151 billion. Tesla ownership stake, 20%, $114 billion. Other assets, Space Exploration Technologies, $29.8 billion private assets, and The Boring Company, $101 million private assets. Number 1. Jeff Bezos. Age, 57. Residence, Seattle, City in Washington State. Founder and CEO, Amazon, AMZN. Net worth, $177 billion. Amazon ownership stake, 11%, $174 billion. Other assets, Blue Origin, $7.15 billion private assets, The Washington Post, $250 million private assets, and $9.75 billion in cash.